Good morning, traders. It's 4:19 a.m. Pacific. Yes, I am up early once again. I hope everyone's doing fine. We had an exciting trading day yesterday. There was a lot of action, a ton of movement as expected, and not so surprisingly, both the ES and the NQ tagged the areas that we were expecting. I had created some analysis videos and projection videos as well, and in all of those videos, I spoke about how uh, you know, uh, ES was looking to test this edge right over here, the 38 10 to 38 100 edge, big picture, that would correspond to a test of these lows. That is why we have this um, a line over here, right? It's a test of these lows and a test of the edge right over here, this balance edge, right? um, right over here. So we didn't get exactly a touch of 37.92, but a 3800 test and hold of like by 5 points, 3804 or 5 being the low, is good enough for now for temporary support, right? It really depends on what kind of follow through we have this week. If this one starts to step back into this balance area right over here, which is the larger 38, I'm going to say 38. I'm actually going to say 3900 to the 3930 area. Let's just say this big zone. Then we get to start thinking and dreaming about potentially deepening the balance here, and then testing for higher value above, assuming some good news stimulus and so on and so forth. But I feel like our main job has been done very well, right? So waves A, B, C, D, and the extension wave E here we did get as I expected, and I wanted ideally to have some more time spent in this zone, right? As of now, it appears to be a poor low with a chance of being revisited later. I think the auctions completed nicely in this area for sure, where we have the point of control, the 3850 area, but um, there could potentially be some unfinished business here in the single print area, especially below 3815. But that's bound to happen when you tend to find support the first time. But I do expect a secondary test potentially of this area, and if there is sufficient momentum, then we can get the real follow through that I was hoping for, and looking to kind of really add to my long term positions, and otherwise, start to maybe enter a limit order potentially for the ES in this area, the 3760, well, 37, yeah, whatever, this area basically, 670, 80, 37 area, right? 3770, 3780 area. Okay, so that's how ES looked. If I just skipped over quickly here as I type it and take a sip of my coffee quick. Um, Pretty much the same thing happened with NQ as well, right? I was expecting the waves 1, 2, and 3 large extension into my into this zone. I even made a rectangle here from before. I wanted 12750 test. I got my 12750 test, which is fantastic. Um, you already know the kinds of trades I did place yesterday. I will go over them actually. I will review my trading journal and some of my trades from yesterday. There were actually quite a few good ones given all the volatility, but one had to be careful because volatility can also bite you right hard. So this is a 15-minute chart, and it shows the test completed with potentially some unfinished business over here in the 12700 area, and I feel like it bounced really really well. Now, how has the overnight action been? Well, clearly the overnight's been balanced. I'm going to say balanced. However, let me just switch over to my other chart, which you guys can't see just yet, but I just need to make sure what the settlement was. The settlement appears to be 13155, and I might need to fix my prior close indicator here. Correct. So now that gives me a prior settle here, a prior low 12,752, and a prior high of 13,334. Good. So that makes sense. So we are very balanced then. We are not, biased towards long or short. However, we have a P shaped P, the letter P shaped profile developing, which is obviously telling us that, we still have significant support in the 13,000 area, and we're trading near the top of the range, but it's still only 424. I mean, we have 2 hours for this thing to play out even more. I would not be surprised if the overnight action finishes close to this area, 13,290 area. I would not be surprised, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if it came back to test the overnight low and settled in this area either, for a fairly quick overnight low test for us in the morning, and potentially a test of this edge 12,985, right? So I would be looking definitely for a test of this area. Maybe I should draw an area with a rectangle, right? So in my opinion, not only do we have a chance of test of this area, probably drew a too large a rectangle, don't want to do that. Maybe this area right here, and and don't be surprised if you start to see some unfinished business being taken care of within the single print area here as well, right? But yesterday's action just showed us that there was some rejection here. There was some strong rejection here. It was that idea, also occurred in Tesla, for example, which I was actually going to go next to show you guys some great action from yesterday. It was a very good trading day for me in Tesla weekly options yesterday, guys. I know I was busy doing the ES and NQ futures, but there was no way I was passing up the opportunity of getting into some weekly calls at my area of interest, which was, as I told you guys, the 610 620 area, which is exactly what happened. We got that price action, got a nice little weekly option right over here, and I liquidated half here, liquidated the rest over here. Essentially, I was this was obviously, one had to take a gamble that it would come back to it. The POC was here back then when I was working this trade. The idea was to trade the first impetus, right? The first move up, retest POC, potentially add to your weekly, and then close near the RTH high, or potentially at a gap, and the gap was here. Yeah, my indicators all get screwed up sometimes. So this one, it's going to show me a gap of, I had to adjust that to 1. This is where the gap was, and it filled, and that's how that trade played out. So that was really nice. I did not hold on to my weekly call for Tesla. I was not sure what the overnight action will hold for me, so I entered at like a price almost of 4.5 on the 720 strike, and yeah, I got 17 here. I got 17 again over here. So that was quite remarkable, guys. Anyway, so that was Tesla. Now I'm going to go over to my trading sheet and bring it into view here, so I can show you the trades from yesterday. So I was really busy yesterday, I guess. So we'll divide that into two sections. The first section was like the one contract trade on both the ES and the NQ. This was just playing overnight pivot resistance. So this one for NQ, I played the overnight low breaking to a high value edge, which was, um, we'll have to go into the video to see that, but I'll describe that next. And in the ES, I played a similar idea, overnight low breaking to another HVE. So they were correlated trades in the NQ. And what exactly were they? For that, I will have to pull up my YouTube channel here. And I might have an error actually in my entry for the profits that I made, but that's okay. I can fix that. So let's go over here quickly. I believe this is the trade I'm talking about. Okay, so this was a two contract NQ trade that I sat on for a long time and eventually had to liquidate when it broke this trend line. Okay, so this trade I aggregated into the 80. I know what's going on now. Yep. So what actually happened was that I had two 40-point trades. This video is of the second 40-point trade that I aggregated into my 80 number here. So that's that. So for to show you guys my previous one, I will have to go here. Okay. Now I think we're on the right screen. Okay, good. Hopefully you guys can see this one. So now this was the 1100 trade that I'm talking about right over here. The one contract 36 point in the NQ, which should materialize about here. I apologize as it buffers. Right. So this is the one contract. Uh, yeah, I was a little late on this trade, to be honest, guys. I think I was paying too much attention to ES, so I was late on this. My idea was very simple. I was looking at the developing value area low of 12,946 and 44. I even mentioned in my video that if 44 breaks, I would be looking for a follow through to potentially, so another edge, and I knew that this area would serve as an edge for me. The round number 900 area, for example. And that's pretty much what happened. On the ES, the same idea, developing value area low break. I am calling it ON resistance and not VA resist. I am calling it ON support and not VA. I'm sorry, I'm calling it ON resistance and not value area resistance for the breakout. This is because of the overnight levels here. That's why. I guess some setups tend to overlap as far as my system works. Yeah, that's kind of interesting, but that's okay. I see the setup develop, and it's actually a good setup, even better than the usual because it's a confluence of both the overnight level as well as the overnight low pivot as well as the developing value area right edge right here, the developing edge. So I'm okay with the nomenclature I'm using. So idea being that yes, I have broken down from the overnight levels, and what I'm looking to do is I'm seeking the 3830 edge in ES. And to be honest with you, I don't have a specific number in mind for NQ because I'm playing a correlated trade. I'm seeing bearish activity over here on the market internals, and that is good enough for me to play the trade, right? So I close the one over there for the 30 points, whatever, and I do the same thing on the ES as soon as I see not much follow through. And I was watching the tape carefully here to not see more selling. I was looking to see more selling, but I timed this perfectly. As you can see, as soon as I exited, a waft of green orders came in. Now we know what really happened. It went to test 3810, right? But that's okay, guys. You can either hold on to 30 points or you can give up the 10 points that you have made. And I feel like if a trader has good setups that reoccur and give decent opportunity on a volatile day that was yesterday, one doesn't have to worry to chase price action. I really need to do this over and over, and I am able to. So that therefore, any mixtape signals are important for me to watch, okay, and observe. So that was the 1.1k play, and then I guess we can talk about the other trade, which was um, two contracts 6 points and two contracts another 42 points on the NQ for a sum of 2200. This was obviously playing on the other far side of the range, right? So much had happened that we just moved from south to north, so over here, as I mentioned in one of my videos yesterday, I was looking for more consolidation around the VWAP area. We kind of got it actually with the slanting W, and at that point, with all the sectors green, except for I think maybe one or two sectors were not probably green. It became an easy bias shift um, to at least a test of the prior value area low, the prior day's value area low in ES, which is 3872, I think. So again, I could have potentially taken the delta reversal trade at 38.50. Now, someone asked me on Facebook at the traders forum in Facebook. Someone asked me, "What do you mean by delta?" Well, delta is simply the difference between the buying and the selling, right? The difference between the volume coming in at bids and the volume coming in at sells, right? Doesn't direction doesn't matter. Point being that whenever I see reversals in buying pressure as compared to a sell pressure beyond a certain threshold, reversal of let's say a 50% increase or a 100% increase in buying compared to selling, I print these arrows, right? The small red arrows and the small cyan arrows at the highs and the lows after the bar is completed. So here I know that this was the rather here when no actually when the bar closes I know that that was a reversal. So there was an entry potentially here again, but I didn't take it. I was playing extra cautious. I wanted this breakout with internals to align. Perhaps the internals had not aligned for my liking here, but that's okay. So I did eventually take the 6350 break, and I took the more valuable 13,084 break in NQ. And as the trade played out, I didn't see any heat in this trade. I didn't have to suffer at all. One of the better trades for traders is when you're not worried about getting stopped out, and only thing you see is green. And it was just lucky that that happened for me. And at that point, I did actually exit my trade, even though I could have held out for another God knows how many points, 50, 60 points. But you see this tape, when it starts to go red like this, and I have made over $2,000 and I'm approaching a key level, in yes, I am not going to take on the rest of the world, right? I am going to exit my trade for the profit that I've already made because I know I have setups that I can go back to. So anyway, so that's what happened yesterday. So let's just block this guy out here. All right, and back to the trading journal we go. Um, yeah, so that was it, guys. That was a very strong day for us yesterday. Very, very strong. I'm really proud of this. I could have done more, sure. I could have taken more risk, but I didn't feel like, and I got busy with the Tesla options trade as well, so I had to shift my focus elsewhere. So let me just block this out as well. So there you have it, guys. That's what happened yesterday, and that was a review of the trades. I'll make another video really quick, a different one for my plan today. But thanks for watching this one, guys. Appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe. It really helps. Thanks, guys.